Here we're going to tie a fly called a Schminnow. This is a snook fly, quite often used in Florida for snook in the Sanibel Island area. First thing we're going to do is just get some thread started. Next we're going to take 2 plumes of Marabou. We're going to tie these pieces of Marabou in. We want them to be about 1.5 times the shank of the hook, so I just kind of roughly measure those out. I'm going to tie those in right on top of the shank of the hook. You can trim out the excess Marabou and then just bite through all of it, clean it up. If you need to, you can trim out some of the fuzz. Next thing to do is to tie in some flash on the tail. I just use pearl crystal flash. I use a fairly generous amount. I use about 6-7 strands of it. I'm going to put this on each side of the fly. So I just tie it on one side first, then tie it on the other. And then you're going to trim this just a hair longer than the length of the tail. Now we're ready for the body. For that we're just going to use some pearl ice chenille. You can also use a Staz Cactus chenille. Either one is just fine. We're going to tie this in right at the back of the fly, right in front of the tail. We're going to take our thread almost all the way to the eye. I'm going to stop just short. And then we're going to take this ice chenille and we're going to wrap it around the body of the fly. And with each wrap I take my fingers and stroke back some of the fibers that are facing forward. Force them back. This will get all the chenille to lay back in a nice fashion. Once I get almost all the way to the eye, I'm going to stop and capture the chenille. And I could trim out the excess chenille, and I'll trim out all the fibers that are also sticking off the front of the fly. Then I'll just do a rough cleanup of the head here. We're ready for a pair of mono eyes. Use some large monofilament eyes. You can make your own or you can buy them pre-made. I'm just going to simply secure these eyes right in the middle, right on the head of the fly, where we're going to finish off the fly. I like these to be seated a little bit farther back than I have them, so I'm just going to redo it here. There we go. I like them to be right up against the material, not like it really probably even matters. That's just the way I've always done it. Once you have them secured, you can lay down some wraps right in front of them. Whip finish. And you're ready for a little bit of super glue. I use the brush on kind, just makes it easier to apply to the fly. And make sure to apply a generous amount in both the top portion where the eyes meet the thread and also on the bottom as well. That way the eyes don't fall off. That's all there is to a Snook Schminnow. Very effective fly. Actually very simple to tie as well. And Snook just eat it up.